Right guys, welcome back. So today is going to be the first video of the camper conversion build. Something simple. We're going to remove the bulkhead. I'm going to take you through step by step how to do it, because I appreciate most people have either done it or they know how to do it. So thanks for coming back. Hit that like button. Let's carry on. We're just about to get started. If you're looking to do this, first thing I'd do is I'd recommend, before you get any tools out, before you do anything, is stop and actually look at the area you're working in. So straight away, I know I can see that's a 10mm. These are 10mm, so I'm going to need a 10mm socket and a little battery gun or a ratchet or whatever you have. So I know what I need there. And then look for things like this. So this here is a light that's been fitted to it. So I can't just undo these, obviously, and start ripping it out. So I always recommend look at what you're removing and what's around and any obstructions before you start undoing stuff, because you'll see here there's a switch and these actually are live, they work. See? So I know now, before I do anything, I need to address this wiring and these light fittings. So I'm going to get some tools ready. I'm going to have a look where they go and then we'll start. Okay, so looking at these, they just pushed through here into the cab, and then they route down here, and then they actually go under the seat here, and then they're badly put and earthed and fused down here. So they've been roughed in. Obviously this isn't a Volkswagen thing. This is an aftermarket thing where someone's just put it on just to, they light up quite well. This switch here is just pushed in. Now it's down there. Now it's probably going to be, because the sun, because this is south facing, it's going to be quite difficult. So I'm not going to capture that bit, but basically I'm going to pop the switch out, I'm going to disconnect it, I'm going to try and pull the wires away the best I can, and maybe just leave the switch in that side of the cab for now, so that when I pull the bulkhead off, it's not going to fray the wiring, stress anything. And hopefully nothing get caught. So I'll do that, then I'll load you back up. So this is Jasper's first time in the van. He's just climbed up to have a nose. There's the concrete pad I'm putting in at the moment, because I'm going to erect a garage there, so I can start rebuilding some engines for this and just doing some odd jobs, and I'm going to rebuild a transmission ready, because I know they're quite common. So look out for that going up. The plan is eventually, when this is, let's shut this for the sunlight, when this is a completely finished van, I'm hoping to bring him with me. So I'm going to build a little cage and have aircon on that in the van, on a switch, so I can keep the temperature cool for him, and I'm actually going to bring him with me. So he's going to come when we're doing routes this time next year, like the NC 500 around Scotland and stuff. He's going to actually come with us, and I'm going to have him on a lead, see how that goes. But I'm going to hopefully bring him and vlog with him and go walking around the countryside and the mountains and whatnot, and driving with him with us. So hopefully that goes to plan. Right, so I finally got all this removed. This is an actual perfect reason to explain why I wanted to build my own, because if you buy a camper that's had a professional conversion, then brilliant, but I mean, you'll pay a lot of money. If you've bought one that somebody's done a lot of stuff or jobs themselves, that's great, that can work. However, it depends on what their skills are, and depends on where they've cut the corners, because everyone always cuts corners. There's so many things wrong with this. I mean, they've left so many sharp edges and they've jammed it through the corner of the bulkhead. This whole wiring here has been compromised, so I've just cut it in the end, because all this shielding that's been compromised with the scraping of the metal where it's been sandwiched and where it's been sharp edges. Sorry, I'm going to replace all this anyway, and I'm not going to use these lights I want to fort. So I've took all that off. So now it's time to crack on, and we'll remove this. So you have to pull this trim down. If you've got standard trim, then there's this bit of interior trim here that unclips. That's just held on by 1, 2, 3, 4 clips, which locate in here, here and here. And then as you can see, the bulkhead laps inside just up to the head lining, and there's a screw here. Quite difficult, only with one hand. Start by removing this series of 10 mils now, and by the looks of it, this is split into two, so the top half and the bottom half. Remove the top half first, leaving the bottom half in situ. So all I've got for this is normal ratchet, little extension, and a 10 mil socket. Just going to do the corners first. I recommend keeping all your nuts and bolts you remove together, because I don't know what you plan on doing with it. If you plan on reselling it on, you might be selling it to someone who hasn't got one fitted, so therefore they'll want all the bracketry and the bolts and everything. Generally these are quite common on the market because a lot of people do camper conversions, so they do exactly the same thing. So you probably won't sell it on, but just a point to bear in mind: if you do, then you want to present the new owner with everything to fit it. Keeping your hand on it like that, remove the last nut. If you need a second pair of hands to do this, now is the time to ask. There we go. Being slow. Same again. I'll speed this up just for the bottom. It's under tension. See, look here, look. See this here? Can you see it? That rip. Now that's not me, that was already done. There's one here as well. However, if you rip this out, you're always going to be like, oh Christ. You don't know if you did it or not, so definitely wouldn't recommend doing that. So gently pull at it. I'll stop saying that. There we go. Right, so all that's needed now is to remove this last bit of bracketry for the bulkhead. So you remove this trim, which you've just seen a bit of, but you can also mainly see on my headlining removal video. So you remove this trim, take that off. You remove this trim, you take that off, and then you'll see you gain access, and there's a ring of 10 mil headed M6 bolts. That one's a screw. That one's a screw and an oversized washer. And then following it round, there's a screw there. And there's a screw there. And then this will be exactly the same. I haven't done this one yet because I've got to remove the seats to remove this, because the seat belt is behind this and you can't get a socket or anything in, and underneath the seat there's no access through to that, so I've got to remove the double seat for that. But because I'm going to be removing all the seats in the next couple of weeks to re-leather them and then put my swivel base on, the two-seater, I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to finish this video off and you guys can kind of grasp exactly what's left to finish it. Come in, mate. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's the way it is on a T6. But for this, I'll end it here because there's no point showing you that. But basically, you undo those and those lips will come off, and then that is the complete end of the bulkhead removal. You look at this. This is where they drilled the light switch through from that side. So this side is the opening side door. But look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not. But that sharp edge there. Let's go out the sun. They've obviously drilled that through. And not filed it down, not put a grommet inside, done nothing, just pushed the light in. And that's what half of that sharp edges is actually what's compromised the wiring. Not when I was pulling it back through, but when they've been fitting it initially. So if you're going to do things, guys, do it right. It takes 30 seconds to file that, because electrical wise, if you like, especially when you started to get the carpet and stuff in and you've hidden, if that was then hidden, say if you carpeted that bulkhead, for an example, and then that rubbed through and then started popping fuses, not only are you going to break down, you could potentially have a fire. You know, if you've got your kids in the vehicle, be responsible, do things properly. And if you can't do them properly, either watch how-tos and follow that step by step, but watch good how-tos, or, you know, go and pop down a local shop and ask them advice, or pay them to do it for you. There's certain things that you've got to get right, your brakes, your steering, these sort of things you can't afford to get wrong. And electrics is one. That is one of them, really, because you can have a fire, you know, and if that rubs through and was arcing together on the earth, on the body, that's not very good. And it could have been avoided. Luckily, it didn't happen, thank God. If you're going to do it, just spend a bit of extra time. And I don't advise doing these conversions in a rush. I've given myself 12 months. Don't rush it. Just take your time. Do a thorough job. Do a nice job and do it properly. And I know I'm going on, but here's a perfect example of exactly what I've just mentioned. I don't know how well you can see it. Is they've put like on a switch here. They've put a couple of cigarette lighters, like for PowerPoints, and there's a USB in it and stuff. It's okay. It's all right. It gets my sat nav going and stuff when we're on the road. And they haven't done a bad job underneath. I don't think you can see that. But if you look here, the cord that comes off it, look at this. You've got two exposed wires there. I mean, they've taped up here, where they've obviously bodged it and joined it very badly. But then there are two completely exposed wires, and then they're opposites. So that's an earth and a positive. So that there would just pop the fuse if they have put a fuse in. But I mean, who leaves that like that? So you just don't know who's messed with these things. And sometimes with a camper, if someone's done it all themselves, you don't know what they're hiding. And another good thing about videos like this, at least if you buy something with a series like this, you can at least see the standard of work that has been carried out. So that's enough of that. That's the end of this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it added value to you for your bulkhead removal on your T5 or T6. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you next time.